I'm just going to give you guys a warning now that if you have not played Borderlands 1, Borderlands the pre-sequel, or Borderlands 2, including Tales from the Borderlands, then you may not want to watch this video because I will be giving spoilers all throughout this video, completely randomly. Everything though could have been a little bit smoother, and I'm sure there is a pun somewhere in there. If you want to say it, say it. They also showed off a new card game with some magic tricks. It was kind of cool. I'm not a fan of card games or board games, but as you can imagine, Gearbox culminated the entire event and they ended up showing Borderlands 3 at the very end of the show. It was a little bit stuttery, but ultimately all of us fans got everything we wanted to see. I loved every single one of the Borderlands game. For me personally, the pre-sequel was the worst in the series. I wasn't a fan of the jumping. As soon as I arrived on Ilios, I don't know why I said that. I'm thinking of Overwatch for some reason. I think it's Helios. It's something like that. It's the moon of Pandora. Once I arrived there, I was just like, wow, I do not like this environment. Some of the other things, I'm sure I'm not the only one, is that I didn't like Pickle in the game. I don't remember his name. We're just going to call him Dill Pickle. I didn't like him. Some people do. He's the type of guy to where when you're friends with him, you see why everyone else doesn't like him. I'm sure I consider me and Pickle friends. We're friends, but I'm not going to associate with him more than I have to. Okay, I guess that wouldn't mean we're friends, but I don't dislike him. I just don't like him. He can be annoying. For all we know, that the two villains are actually Pickle and his sister grown up. I don't know. Maybe they are. I'm pretty sure the villains are supposed to be twins.
Oh, shit! I just realized that made no sense! God damn it! Why did I think that plan made sense?
One of the other things I didn't like in the pre-sequel was the oxygen. I just felt like it ruined their immersion and you had to constantly be looking. Hey, look, I'm playing No Man's Sky where I have to keep monitor of all my things. And if you watch my review for that, that was one of the things I disliked. I don't want my immersion in this video game to be taken away by another aspect to where it shouldn't even be needed. Like, hey, we're on another planet. You would think we would bring oxygen with us so that way we don't suffocate to death. Borderlands is one of those games that still has split screen. The last one was released in 2014. And yet here we are 5 years later, possibly getting a new Borderlands game. Actually, it's not possibly. We're getting it. I just wanted to put a more dramatized effect on it. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. Stick around for the continuation of Will Valve ever be able to count to 3? Split screen and Borderlands game, it's like a ritual with a friend to where you can just sit down, play Borderlands for hours on end, and be astonished at the loot you get, admire it. And if you were like me or my brother, you would see that this person got the loot and you're like, no, I want that piece right there. Actually, we would be like, oh, look, he dropped this. And then I would pick it up and then I would use it for a little bit. I would be like, hey, this is a really good gun. Maybe we should dupe it. Then he would play with a piece. He would get the next best piece of loot. Then he would play with it and be like, hey, this shield's pretty good. And it has, when we played with shields, we always went for the highest defense, no matter what. That's what it was. We wanted the biggest shields we can get. The next thing I'm going to talk about, it's a sort of a little mix of both. Handsome Jack, or John, if you will, ever felt like a true villain in the games. And even furthermore, in the pre-sequel, when we had to betray Handsome Jack, I didn't like that decision. All throughout the game, what do? We go around killing bandits endlessly, slaughtering them mercilessly. It's like, hey, you got loot, I'm gonna kill you for your guns. But the moment that Handsome Jack says, hey, I'm gonna use this big ass laser to kill all of these bandits on Pandora, wow, this guy is a psychopath. We have to stop him. I mean, he was doing what we're doing, and yet all of a sudden we're getting this moral high ground. Really? That's how you're gonna explain it? And I'll give you the fact that yes, he killed people along the way. I'm reminded of the 4 scientists where he thought one was a snitch telling Zarpedon intel or whatever. And he'd had no proof of this. He didn't even know if it was true, but just to be safe, he killed all 4 of them. And I'm just calling it now. I hope there is a boss in the game with those 4 scientists. Maybe went to a secret area. They hatched out this plan to kill Handsome Jack, and then they find out he's dead. And so their plan was all for naught. And instead of taking revenge on Handsome Jack, they take revenge on the Vault Hunters. There you go. That's your own little DLC right there. The 4 scientists of Jack's demise. And so they build this huge giant robot that's meant to take over the worlds, the universes, in revenge for their, quote, death by Handsome Jack. Hopefully that's a boss. It's sort of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle boss in Borderlands 2 in the sewers. But where I was going with that is that I want the new villain, or villains in this case, since we already know who they are, I want them to really be evil, do reprehensible things, really, really mean things like kill Salvador the Gunzerker while making fun of his height while they're killing him. Oh, that would trigger me so bad. That would trigger me. Seriously. Do not fuck
rat killing
with Salvador. Or another thing they could do is, you see Salvador, there's this gun that he really wants, but the taller dude of the twin, he holds the gun right over his head just out of reach, and he's like, Salvador, I got your gun. You can't get it. Do you want your gun, Salvador? And you know, he's just constantly teasing him over and over, and he says something along the lines of, Salvador, more like Sally Short. And I don't just mean your name. Okay, well, technically, yes, I do mean your name, but it's because of your height, and not because your name is Short Salvador. Sir? Salvador? Gonzaga! And then Salvador just breaks out. He's like, I don't need those guns. I got my own guns. Bang, 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 bang. Shoot your train. I shot you down. You're twins. No longer in the Borderlands universe. And I would even go into further and say, getting back to the point, because I got off topic a little bit there, you can even say that Handsome Jack killed Roland, and there's no disputing that. I don't think people realize this. I'm sure they do, but it doesn't cross their mind that Lilith was the reason Roland was killed. Lilith played this role like she was sad that Roland was dead, but her hand played a direct role in it. Not just in Borderlands 2, but all the way back to the pre-sequel. So you're asking, why and how was Lilith responsible for this? Well, it's simple. Angel told Lilith, do not come when the Vault Hunters come to find me. The Vault Hunters themselves, well, Roland, I mean, if he's a Vault Hunter, but Roland said Lilith should stick behind, and you ask yourself, why was she told not to go? Well, spoilers, Angel is Jack's daughter. Angel is a siren. Jack needs a siren to accomplish what he was trying to do. So when the Vault Hunters go, Angel's like, hey, I hate my life. He's been doing this to me forever. Go ahead and kill me. I'm fine with that. And so what do? The Vault Hunters go and we don't kill Angel. She dies herself. And she could be a future boss. Who knows? Hey, I didn't really want you to kill me. I didn't think you would. I was being facetious, trying to see if you would actually save me. Yeah, sorry. We're Vault Hunters that just kill people. Your dad, Handsome Jack, he's just like us. The only difference is he has higher ambitions. He's the head of Hyperion. He wants to shoot a laser down to Pandora. So when Angel actually dies, though, guess who's there to help Jack continue his journey? You guessed it, Lilith. Lilith was there to help Jack. The second thing to do with Lilith, did you guys forget that she wanted to kill Athena? Athena would literally be dead in the canon right now if it wasn't for the Guardians in the pre-sequel saying, hey, no, we're going to need all the Vault Hunters we can get. So kinda please don't kill her, because you guys, Lilith specifically, didn't kill Jack. So no, what did Lilith do? Lilith runs into Jack's little chamber, the vault, wherever it was in the pre-sequel, when you go fight the final boss, smacks Jack across the face, imprints a brand on him, And that little that's why Jack wears his mask, in case you don't know, because Lilith smacked the Volt symbol onto his face, and it's a permanent brand. It messed up his face. He's disfigured for life. Why did Lilith do it? Well, I don't know, because as soon as she did, she walked away. It's like, okay, that was kind of pointless, don't you think? If Lilith at that point in the pre-sequel felt that Jack was a serious threat, don't you think she would have killed him there? I mean, it makes sense, right? But she didn't. And Jack was able to live on. Jack lived on. He killed Roland. Lilith was responsible for it. And Jack was betrayed. John at this time was betrayed by Moxie and Lilith. Who's to say that Jack would have wanted the Vault Hunters dead in Borderlands 2? Because in Borderlands the pre-sequel, we actually start out by helping him. Then when Jack realizes that the Vault Hunters are gonna kill him, that's when he tries to blow them up in Borderlands 2. So everything that Lilith did and Moxie betraying Jack made Jack who he was. And that's why I never felt like Jack was ever the villain. I always thought that Jack was just the guy who was betrayed by two people. Yeah, he did some shady things by throwing 4 scientists into space. He killed Roland. As far as I'm concerned, he just got revenge on Lilith for making him have to wear a mask. The last thing I'll talk about, so this video doesn't get too long, I just want to see the end game in Borderlands be improved a little bit. And I'm going to tread my words carefully here. But if I'm being honest and you're being honest, technically speaking, in a modern sense, Borderlands never had a true end game. Their end game literally consisted of farming a boss for a weapon that you've already killed, killing a raid boss hundreds of times over and over and over just to try to get one piece of gear. And sure, it's awesome to get the piece that's super rare and show it off to your friends, but to keep people coming back, the lasting effect just isn't there. What I think they can improve on to make it a little bit better, and it would be relatively easy, is just to add gear sets to bosses. You know, like you have a mask that you can get, and then maybe get like a piece of shirt that maybe has a quicker cooldown rate on your abilities. I'm sure there'll be skill trees, perks like that. Just adding simple things to where you would want to go back and farm the boss to try to get that piece to help your character out. It will be good. Don't necessarily make all the perks be on the skill tree themselves. Throw those bad boys on some armor pieces to make people want to get actual specific types of armors. Get the full set to get added bonuses to those bonuses. Furthermore, with that, I feel like there should be raid boss missions. It doesn't have to be full-fledged, thought-out missions, just sort of like maybe a horde mode at the beginning, and then after the horde mode, it becomes this raid boss, and you have to defeat the raid boss. So that's where I'm going to wrap this video up. That's pretty much everything I want to see in Borderlands 3. If I'm being honest with you, I don't want much in Borderlands 3. My biggest thing, like I said, is just have split screen. And if they're split screen, then the next biggest thing would make it have shared loot for split screen play. So that way you don't have to use exploits to make sure you guys get the same gear, the same loot. You can just have the same loot be dropped. But with that out of the way, I'll talk to you guys later. Whatever you want to see in Borderlands, maybe I said something that you want to see. Maybe I said something that's controversial to you, like Lilith is actually a very great character. And I mean, that's your opinion. Me personally, at the end of the day, I don't care. As long as Lilith isn't one of the bad guys, then she's good in my book. But with that said, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day.